Hello viewers, here's a video that I didn't want to make and wasn't expecting to. This is our 1998 Volvo C70 T5 Coupé. It's an automatic one and it's catastrophically broken, unfortunately. It's broken to the extent that it's actually not worth for me to repair this, which is a real shame, which means it's up for sale for spares or repairs. I bought this car at an auction down in Southampton on the 28th of October. Today's the 23rd of January, so we haven't actually had it very long. It was all going so well. I mean, the car's not, well, it's not cosmetically perfect. You can see along here the bumper's very sort of scuffed and it's cracked and all sorts of things on there. There's also a little bit of rust. I think it's on this side. It's just there on there, but it's not very serious. The wheels are very scuffed. The lacquer's also peeling off them. But I only paid just under £1,400 for this car, including the auction fees, so it wasn't expensive anyway. It's yes, not going to be maybe a pristine example anymore because of the problems. We'll have a look around it. A little scuff on here on the door handle. Don't know why. The interior for a car that's done 112,000 miles, it's actually in very good condition. There's a little bit of cracking to the leather here, but it's not that bad actually, really. The electric seats work just fine. Okay, you have to lift this up and sort of pull it. It's very difficult with one hand, but I do go forward eventually. There we go. It's a right pain doing it with one hand, but as you can see, that works fine. The back's very good. It's an Alcantara and beige interior, and I absolutely love it. I love the wood, all the colours, original mats in it. So, you know, somebody really did care for this car at one stage. It's got the famous Volvo SC901 stereo in it with the CD multi-changer cassette. That works fine. I'm going to take that Bluetooth adapter out of the car. The heater works fine. I'm not entirely convinced the air conditioning actually works in this car. I'm not actually sure. It's been so cold, it's been very hard to test it. But there we go. I'll just start her up. I won't run for very long, and I'll explain why in a second. Yeah. Starts up just fine. So yeah, interior is very good. I mean, it does start, and I even got about 28 miles per gallon on the way here the other day. 125 miles. It was from where we live down in Eastleigh to here, which is just near Coventry, a place called Bedworth. Glove box has manual and stuff in there. I haven't got the service history sort of here with me. That's down where we live, but I'll be posting it up to Mr Coleman, rubbish mechanic, who lives here. Fortunately, I've got my other car to go back in today, so I'm not inconvenienced anyway. Go around the front of the car. These headlamp protectors are actually coming off. They are going to a chap who's a fellow member of the first generation C70 owners group on Facebook, so I'm taking those off. Headlamp wipers, I'm afraid, don't work. They're totally broken. Bumper's a little bit sort of scuffed on here. You can see it's got this weird sort of protector on here as well, which is strange. I'm afraid it's quite close to the building, so you can't see too much on here, but it's not too bad. The bonnet is full of sort of lacquer peel and gravel rash and all sorts of things. It's very hard to see on the video, but I assure you it's there. The roof's also got a bit of a lacquer peel, so cosmetically it's not perfect. It's not too bad for a car of what I paid for it. But what is the actual issue with this car? Well, I'll open the bonnet and I'll get my list of stuff that actually he's doing on the car, and we'll discuss that. So at first glance, this engine doesn't look too bad. I had the cam belt done actually in November. Mr Coleman, my mechanic, is an expert on 1990s white block engine Volvos like this. White block was available in 4, 5 or 6 cylinder form. This is a 5-cylinder. It's a 2.3 litre engine, around 237 horsepower. Dipstick tube's a little bit loose, but honestly that's, you know, not really of any major concern. There's a little weep around by the distributor, but that's quite common. The main thing is, you can't really see this, is that the 4 gaskets on the back, the cam seals, they have totally let go for some reason. And yeah, I'll put in a load of photographs which show how bad it is, because they need to be taken from underneath the car, which you can't really see, but I do have some of those. The vacuum system's totally shot. The cam belt actually got oil on it, which is why I only started the car very, very briefly, because it didn't really want oil on the cam belt. That's why it needs another one. It's a shame, because, you know, even things like these headlight protectors, which you know, as I said, have been taken off because someone's already bought those. You know, someone's really took some effort into it. We've done the cam belt a couple of times before it was done in November, but yes, you know, it's sort of bad. But we think the turbo's okay. There's just oil everywhere. So I'll leave all those pictures, and we'll come back and just go through exactly what needs doing to this car. Central locking works. Boot popper works. You just press it down for quite a long time. There we go, that works. See, we've had a bit of oil. I did take it on a little run on New Year's Day. Obviously, you won't be doing that anymore. Spares all in there. I think it might have been used once or twice, but not a lot. Jack and everything's in there. And yeah, it's just shame that I've got to say goodbye, but there we go. It's 4 new cam seals. It needs the entire vacuum system replacing. It needs a new PCV system. It's a sort of minimum. Obviously it does need a new cam belt as well. The handbrake, yeah, the handbrake doesn't work at all. It doesn't work. Because this is an auto, it's not the end of the world, but it doesn't work. Automatic gearbox works, though, that's all fine. You see, heated seats, those work. Everything works in this car, actually, bar possibly the air conditioning, I'm not quite sure. Info centre works, heated mirrors, everything. Which is just a shame, but yeah. Handbrake has totally failed, really. Needs new handbrake shoes on the back. The discs and pads are knackered. This caliper is okay, but the one on the driver's side here, that also needs doing. So new discs, new pads, new handbrake shoes, new handbrake cable. As you can see, we've looked at the scuffed alloys. Rear tyres are starting to perish a little bit. They could probably do with replacing. They're quite old. Yeah, that's about it, really. So you've seen the photographs, you've seen the video of the car, and I don't actually know how much this car's worth. I'm not sure in this sort of state. If this is all fully together and, you know, cosmetically it was tidied up a bit, I think it would be worth about £2,500. But this, I don't know. They're very rare C70 T5 Coupés. There's around 30 of them left on the road in this country. This is the only automatic one, we think, in this cassis pearl metallic colour. So yeah, that's it, really. I'm going to send this first to the other people on the C70 first generation owners group on Facebook, see if they are interested in it, and then I'll be advertising this to other people later on. So yeah, it's in Bedworth. I'm going to post the paperwork up to Mr Coleman, who, if you come to sort of have a look at it, He will no doubt answer all the questions. He's an expert on these cars. He's also a driving examiner and instructor, and one of the reasons he's told me not to use it is because it used 4 litres of oil on the way up from Eastleigh, where we live, and that's a lot. The capacity of this car is about 7, so it's too much oil. I mean, the police could pull you over for that and potentially give you a fine of about £1,500. I also asked a serving Warwickshire police officer who's a channel viewer about this, and he says yes, you could have been issued with what's called a PG9. So that's why I won't be driving it anymore. It was a nice drive the other day. I had in it up here, really comfortable, very powerful. I think 0 to 60 in this car's about 8 seconds or something, and it's very, very fast. It does 155 miles an hour, I think. Not that I'm the sort of driver that regularly does that, you understand, but the sort of comfort and things are just amazing in this, and it's just a real shame that this is the end of my ownership. But there we go. Yeah, I've got the paperwork for this. Before the cam belt service was done in November, the car just had a new alternator. I've got lots of paperwork from the previous owners. I am the 4th owner. The car was a demo from Squire Furneaux Volvo, which is sort of down in Surrey, South West London area. Then somebody bought it in '98. It's an April '98 car. First owner got it in June, and then the second owner bought it in 2008. It's had it all the way through to I think early October 2022, and then it went to the auction. So there we go. Thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. I'm sorry this isn't a particularly positive video, but it's just a reality of dealing with very old luxury cars. Sometimes this sort of thing happens. So if you like to subscribe to the channel, like us in the comment below, and we shall see you again soon, hopefully with some better news. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below.